Today, I want to take some time to unpack the Caleb Williams situation, particularly his recent comments and how he handled the whole media storm that has been swirling around him. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of speculation, and some controversy in recent weeks. So I think it's important to really take a step back and look at everything that's happened, what's been said, and how Caleb is presenting himself now. Because I'll be honest, after seeing him speak today, I think he absolutely aced it. He came across like a franchise quarterback, someone who understands the pressure, who's not running from it, and who seems ready to lead. Let's go back to what Caleb actually said in his opening statement, because it's worth breaking down in full context. He started by addressing the situation head-on. He said, the whole storm that happened, it wasn't something we wanted to happen. At this point, we're focused on the present. We're focused on getting this ship in the right direction. And so far, that's what we've been doing. For this to come out now, it's been a distraction. So coming out and addressing it is important. That was a clear, direct message. And I respect the fact that he didn't shy away from acknowledging that the story had become a distraction. He recognized the weight of it and the way it was affecting the focus around the team. Then Caleb went into detail about his visit to Minnesota, which was part of the whole media frenzy that had been building. He said, I had a good visit at the other place, Minnesota, with Kevin O'Connell. Good stuff, good staff, and all of that. He just won Coach of the Year, good staff, and things like that. I actually appreciated the way he talked about Minnesota. There was no attempt to dance around it, no denial or evasiveness. He just came out and said, yeah, I visited the Vikings. I liked it. He gave Kevin O'Connell his flowers, and rightly so. O'Connell is a sharp offensive mind, and Caleb clearly saw that during his visit. There's something refreshing about that level of honesty, especially from a young quarterback who's still establishing himself. And let's be real, who wouldn't have been intrigued by that situation? You've got a great offensive system, Kevin O'Connell calling the plays, and elite weapons like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, who also happens to be Caleb's former college teammate. The offensive line is solid. The situation was objectively attractive, and Caleb acknowledging that doesn't take away from his commitment to the Bears. Then came what I thought was the most important part of his statement. Caleb emphasized that the timeline of events kept getting twisted, and he wanted to set the record straight. He said something that keeps getting lost, and something that's not being addressed the way it needs to be, is that I went on that visit first, talking about the Vikings one. Then I came here, and then when I came here, I went home and talked to my dad. And it was a deliberate and determined answer that I wanted to come here, talking about Chicago. That line matters. He made it clear that Chicago was his choice. It wasn't a backup plan. It wasn't something he fell into by default. After evaluating his options, after meeting with teams and discussing things with the people closest to him, he made a firm decision to come to Chicago. He went on to address the narratives around the team's past, which we're all familiar with. Decades of struggles at the quarterback position, no 4,000-yard passer in franchise history, lack of offensive identity, and so on. Caleb said, obviously, the past years, everyone knows it's been bad quarterback play. There hasn't been a 4,000-yard passer. There's all these different things that come up. To have those thoughts, I think, is fair, totally understandable. But I came here on a visit, and like Ben said, it's a challenge to come in here and turn it around. And that was the main goal through all of what was going on and what happened. That was enticing, talking about the idea of being that guy to turn around. I want to come in here, be the guy, be a part, and be a reason why the Chicago Bears turned this thing around. That's leadership. That's a guy who sees the opportunity and embraces the pressure that comes with it. He wants to be the reason that things change in Chicago, and you can't teach that kind of mindset. And then came a really classy touch, in my opinion. Caleb didn't have to say this, but he did, and it matters. He said that last thing, talking about the end of the article, was the most important thing. That I wanted to be here, that I love being here, I love my teammates, I love all the people who got me here, family, friends, Kevin, Ryan Flayhouse, Shane Waldron, and all of the guys who went through that process with me. He even mentioned Matt Eberflus by name. Now look, I've been as critical of Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron as anyone, and I think fairly so. Eberflus, as a head coach, had a rough tenure. Waldron struggled as an offensive coordinator, and it didn't click the way anyone hoped. But Caleb still gave them credit. He didn't throw them under the bus. He recognized the time and effort they put into evaluating him during the pre-draft process. That speaks volumes about his character. He didn't have to say that. He could have just focused on the current staff, talked about moving forward, and left the past in the rearview mirror. But he didn't. He acknowledged the people who played a role in getting him to this point. That's maturity. That's emotional intelligence. That's what a leader does. And for a 22-year-old rookie quarterback to already be demonstrating the kind of grace and professionalism, that's rare. He was also asked a few tougher questions, including one that, in my opinion, wasn't asked with the kind of care or professionalism that it should have been. Someone asked, "Does your dad speak for you?" And I get the intent behind the question. There's been a lot of talk about Carl Williams and the influence he has, but that's just not the way to phrase that question. Caleb handled it well, though. He kind of chuckled and said, "No, he doesn't. I'm a grown man. He's smart. He's a passionate guy. He would do anything for his son, but I shut him down a lot. There's a time and place for everything." Once again, the way he answered said a lot. He didn't get flustered, didn't get defensive. He just calmly explained that he listens to his dad, sure, but he's the one making the calls. And overall, I thought he just looked like someone who's a year into being the face of an NFL team. He wasn't overwhelmed by the media. He didn't seem anxious. He didn't try to deflect or sugarcoat. He was direct, composed, and clear in his message. He's here to lead the Bears. He chose this challenge, and he's ready to turn things around. That kind of poise is exactly what you want to see from your franchise quarterback. He even said he doesn't care what else is going to be in the upcoming ESPN book chapter. He's focused on the here and now, on building something in Chicago and putting in the work. That's all you can ask for. So yeah, when I saw Caleb speak today, I felt reassured. I've said before that he's handled things well overall, but today was a step above. Today, he looked like a guy who's locked in, who gets it, and who isn't afraid of the spotlight. There's still a long way to go, and, of course, adversity will come. There will be tough losses, bad games, and criticism. That's part of the job. Now, moving on from Caleb's initial remarks and the way he handled the immediate media storm, it's worth diving deeper into what this means for the Chicago Bears organization as a whole. Caleb Williams is more than just a young quarterback trying to make his way in the NFL. He represents a turning point, a potential new era for a franchise that has struggled for quite some time. The weight on his shoulders is immense. The Bears have endured years of instability at the quarterback position, frequent coaching changes, and a general lack of offensive identity that made winning consistently feel like a distant dream. But Caleb's arrival, his confidence, and the way he's embraced the challenge signals a shift in mindset, a renewed sense of purpose within the organization. One of the key takeaways from Caleb's statement was the idea that he wanted to be the guy to turn this franchise around. That kind of ambition is rare and refreshing. Too often, young quarterbacks enter the league with a more cautious approach, trying to avoid mistakes and play it safe. Caleb, on the other hand, seems to understand the magnitude of the situation and is embracing the responsibility head-on. This willingness to lead, despite the pressure, tells you a lot about his character. It also sets a tone for the entire team. Leadership at the quarterback position isn't just about throwing touchdowns. It's about inspiring teammates, demanding accountability, and creating a culture of belief. Caleb seems ready to do all of that. But it's not just about Caleb. His comments highlighted how important it is to have the right people around him. He mentioned his love for his teammates and gave shout-outs to coaches and staff who helped him through the process. That speaks to his understanding that football is a team sport, that success is a collective effort. The Bears organization has made some important moves in recent months, bringing in coaching staff who could develop talent and create a scheme that fits Caleb's strengths. The challenge now is for everyone involved, the coaches, the front office, and the players to align and push in the same direction. It's one thing to have a talented quarterback. It's another to build an entire team and culture around him. Another interesting aspect of Caleb's approach is how he's dealing with the scrutiny from the media and fans. Being the face of a franchise in a city like Chicago is no small task. Expectations are sky high, and patience runs thin. Fans want to see progress immediately, and the media isn't shy about pointing out mistakes or questioning decisions. Caleb's calm and measured responses during his interview show that he understands this dynamic. He's not here to engage in back-and-forth drama or get caught up in distractions. Instead, he focuses on what he can control: his preparation, his performance, and his leadership. That kind of mental toughness is vital in the NFL. The season is long, the pressure intense, and how a quarterback handles those external factors often determines their success or failure. It's also worth noting how Caleb handled questions about his family's involvement, particularly his father's role. There has been speculation about how much influence Carl Williams has on Caleb's career decisions, and Caleb addressed that with honesty and maturity. He acknowledged his dad's passion and support, but made it clear that ultimately, he is the one making the final calls. This balance is important because every young athlete relies on family for guidance, but at some point, they must stand on their own. Caleb's ability to set boundaries and communicate openly about this dynamic reflects his growing independence and professionalism. Looking ahead, there are still many unknowns. The NFL is an incredibly tough league, and no matter how poised a young quarterback is off the field, success is earned on the gridiron week after week. Caleb will face challenges. Adversity is guaranteed. He'll have to prove he can perform under pressure, read defenses, and consistently make good decisions. There will be times when the criticism is harsh and the losses are tough to swallow. But from what we've seen so far, Caleb has the right mindset to handle those moments. His focus on the present, his commitment to the team, and his willingness to embrace the challenge all point to a player who is prepared to fight through the ups and downs. The bigger picture for the Bears now revolves around building the supporting cast around Caleb and fostering a culture that can sustain success. That means investing in the offensive line, ensuring the skill positions are stocked with talent, and having a coaching staff that can adapt and grow alongside the young quarterback. It also means instilling a winning mentality throughout the locker room. Caleb's energy and leadership can serve as a catalyst for that transformation, but it requires buy-in from everyone. The past failures and frustrations are still fresh in the minds of players and fans alike, but there's a real opportunity here to chart a new course. In the end, Caleb Williams' initial public comments and how he handled the media frenzy give us a glimpse into what kind of player and leader he could become. He's not just talking about being the franchise quarterback. He's showing it through his demeanor, his focus, and his commitment to the team. For Bears fans, that's something to hold on to, especially as the franchise tries to rebuild its identity and compete at a higher level. It's going to take time, patience, and effort from all sides, but Caleb's arrival is a meaningful step forward. He embodies hope and potential, and if he can maintain this level of maturity and leadership, the Bears might finally be on the path toward sustained success. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are growing louder in the NFL, and all eyes are turning toward Chicago, where a new era for the Bears quarterback saga might just be on the horizon. Rumors swirling around the Windy City suggest that Ben Johnson, a name quickly gaining traction among football insiders, is positioning himself to completely rewrite the narrative surrounding the Bears' quarterback situation. If these whispers prove true, Chicago could soon become the NFL's new quarterback epicenter. Fans and analysts alike are starting to wonder, could Johnson's influence be the spark that finally ends Chicago's quarterback drought? The potential is there, and the excitement is palpable. If the Bears do embrace this new direction, it could rewrite their fortunes and set a fresh standard for quarterback development in the NFL. As the NFL offseason progresses, all eyes will be on Chicago to see if these rumors solidify into reality. One thing is clear: Ben Johnson's promise to change the quarterback narrative isn't just talk. It might just mark the dawn of a new powerhouse era for the Bears, turning them into a beacon for QB excellence and innovation across the league. The Bears and their fans may soon witness a transformation that reshapes their identity and ambitions in the NFL landscape. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.